प्रजया धनेन त्यागेनैके अमृतत्वमानिषु धनेन नाकं नीलं गुहायां विद्राजवेदक्षतयो विशन्ति वेदान्तविज्ञानसुनिश्चिताः संन्यासयोगायतयश्रुतसत्त्वाः ते ब्रह्मलोके तु परमान्तकाले परामृतात् परिमुच्यन्ति सर्वे धर्मं विपापं परमेश्वरभूतं यत् पुण्डरीकं पुरमद्य सक्कस्थं तत्रापिदं गगनं विशोकस्तस्मिन् यदन्तस्तद्भासितव्यं यो वेदादौ स्वरप्रोक्तो वेदान्ते च प्रतिष्ठितः तस्य प्रकृतिलीनस्य परः स महेश्वरः।
ॐ न तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चन्द्रतारकं नैवाविद्युतो भान्तिकुतोऽयमग्निः तमेव भान्तमनुभाति सर्वं तस्य भासा सर्वमिदं विभाति। बोलिए श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुसाक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेव।
शान्ति शान्ति
माता पिता भाई बहनों बच्चों मैं नमस्कार Hare Krishna to each and every one of you. Let me take this opportunity here tonight on behalf of the Mandir Martyrdation Temple to welcome each and every one of you, especially Acharya from all the way from Chennai Mission. And I would like you to sit back, listen attentively, you can read from the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and it's a very nice lesson for us to learn. And I want you not to listen alone, but to practice so that you can make your life a better and a better life. I would like to call upon Vahinji to make her introduction.
Sit around, everyone. I extend my heartfelt pranam to our most revered Swamiji. It is indeed a divine blessing to be in the presence of such an enlightened soul whose life is dedicated to guiding seekers on the path of wisdom, devotion, and selfless service. Before we listen to the inspiring words of Swamiji, please allow me to give a very brief introduction on his remarkable journey. Swami Prakashananda Ji is the head of Chinmaya Mission in Guyana and Trinidad. He teaches Vedanta and Sanatana Dharma to people and institutions all over the world. He has studied in India for years, directly under his guru. He is a master in our scriptures and in Sanskrit. Swamiji has been coming to Guyana for a satsang for the past 20 years. by invitation from local mandirs. In 2023, local Hindu communities requested Swamiji to establish Chudamani Mission in Guyana. Swamiji is currently conducting 108 days of yajna in 108 mandirs across Guyana, teaching the entire Bhagavad Gita. It is truly an honor to have Swamiji with us tonight. With utmost reverence, I now invite Swamiji to bless us with his divine blessings. Thank you.
Radhe 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 Govinda
Radhe 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 Krishna Mukunda
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 Bal Govinda
Bal Govinda
Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha Om Shri Saraswatye Namaha Om Shri Gurudevaya Namaha Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshini Bhagavati Ashtadashaധ്യായിനി Amba Tvamanusandathami Bhagavad-gite Bhavattveshini Namostute Vyasa-vishala-buddhe Hullar-vinyayata-patra-netra Yena tvaya bharat-taila-purnaha Prajvalito jnanamaya-pradipaha Prapanna-parigataya Totra-vetra-kapane Jnana-mudraya Krishnaya Gita-amrita-duhe namaha Sarvopanishado gavo Dugdha Gopala-nandanaha Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta Dugdham Gita-amritam mahat Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa-chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं हरि ओम्। श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम
श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम
श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं
श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम
श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम
श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम
आवृतं ज्ञानमेतेन ज्ञानिनो नित्यवैरिणा
श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम
कामरूपेण कौन्तेय दुष्पूरेण लेन च
श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम
इन्द्रियाणि मनोबुद्धिः अस्याधिष्ठानमुच्यते
श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम
एतद्विमोहयत्येषः ज्ञानमावृत्य देहिनम्
श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम
श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम
श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम
श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम
श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम
Krishna Kanhaiya Lal ki jai. Okay, so we are seeing now this concluding portion of this third chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna's question is being answered by Bhagavan Shri Krishna. So what is the question? The question is, what is that thing which causes all of us to do pap? Pap means wrong things. All the wrong things which we do. What causes us to do this pap? And I keep telling everywhere from temple to temple, please use the word pap. That is the best word because it has different meaning from the English word sin. And last night I explained that difference also. So now, what causes us to do pap in spite of the fact that we don't want to do pap, but still we do? Like that is Arjuna's question. Huh? And this question is for all of humanity, not only for us who are sitting here, everybody. We know something is not right, we know something is wrong, we know something is incorrect or something, but still we do that thing. And from childhood, and not now, from now only. From childhood, when you are a child, you go and you steal the milk, or you steal the sugar, you steal the whatever, something you steal. And when they ask you also, first stealing is not good, so you know it is not good, so you hide and steal. You don't steal in front when people are looking. That's why you hide. Right? Because if you thought it was good, you wouldn't hide. And then after they ask now also, you say, no, not me who stole. So first you stole, which is of course wrong, and then you lie also, which is again wrong. So one wrong after the next thing. Like that. And that from childhood, that continues all the way till death also. And that doesn't change. Huh? One wrong after the next. So what causes us to do this pap? Like that. And in so many ways. And pap is a big word in Sanskrit. Huh? So Bhagavan says this pap is caused by Kama Esha, Krodha Esha, Rajo Guna Samudbhavaha, Mahashano Mahapapma, Vidhyena Mihavairinam. That remember, to understand that this is caused by Kama, desire. And that Kama is born from Rajas, Rajoguna. Because the tamasic man, lazy man, he has no calm also. In fact, he has a calm, but that calm is the worst calm. What? Just to sleep whole day. Do nothing. And the sattvic man also has no calm. But the man in the middle, Rajasic man, he has a lot of desire. And last night we saw desire in detail. The unfortunate thing about this yajna is we are going from temple to temple, so none of you were there last night. So you can't follow the thread so well. But I am trying to make a thin thread here for you to follow. So Bhagavan's question is, Arjuna's question is, what causes us to do papa? And Bhagavan's answer is, calm, desire. Huh? We have all sorts of desires and we can't control a desire. And when Indriyani Mano Buddhi Asya Adhisthana Muchyate, it is said that this karma is there in our intellect, our mind and our senses. This is where it dwells. Actually, it's not so easy to, not so difficult to understand also. It's a very simple thing. If the intellect is convinced that that thing will give me happiness, well, the intellect tells the eyes, you always look there. So the eyes are trained also to look. The eyes is Indriya, senses. So the intellect is already convinced that that thing will give me happiness, that thing is good, that thing is great, that thing is wonderful, like that. Intellect is now, what you call, convinced. And so you have this mind and senses only looking in that direction. That thing may not be good. The intellect can logically conclude what is wrong also. That is a wonderful thing. So now, this karma rests in all the senses and the mind and intellect and everything like that. Desire, craving. Etaihi vimohayati eshaha jnanamavritya dehinam. This desire covers over any gyan that we will have. Gyan means what? Every day you sing. Every day we all sing. Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham Shivoham
Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham Shivoham
Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham Shivoham
Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham Shivoham
Shivoham Shivoham Satchidanandoham
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 Satchidanandoham.
Now this knowledge is there everywhere in the scriptures. And my nature is Sat Chit Ananda. That is the knowledge which is there. But I am so busy. My mind, body, mind, intellect is so busy with all the desires of this world. That knowledge has sunken deep in the recesses and covered over by all of this constant desire for all sorts of worldly things which we have. That knowledge is covered. Say avritam. Jnanam avritya vritya dehinam. Avrita means cover up. Look here. This is an ordinary thing which we know in our life. Huh? If you have a cut here, right, and it's a paining, right? So you're looking at the cut and the paining, and you're looking at the blood and this and that. Little cut I'm talking about. But at that time, some big thing happens. Some other big thing happens. Bad thing. That time you think about cut. Your little cut here, and some big somebody chasing you with a gun now to shoot you. You think about cut that time? So the knowledge of cut, the awareness of cut, anything like that, that goes away, get lost. So in the very same way, our nature of Satchitananda gets lost in all our vast ocean of desires. Thing has no end. And our plans and ambitions and so many things, all is part of it only. And my nature of Satchitananda, that thing gets lost in million lifetimes also, it doesn't come to the surface. So this is the meaning of etaihi vimohayati eshaha jnanamavritya dehinam. This is the meaning of that. By these desires and all our ambitions and plans and so many things, all this knowledge of our true nature gets covered up. Tasmat, therefore, so after telling like that, Bhagavan tells, therefore, my dear Arjuna, if you wanted to find out what causes you to do pap, it is this desire and all of this. And because I have so many desires, I want to fulfill those desires by hook or crook, we say. Hook or crook, by any which way. And I will do any wrong thing anyway, just to step on this one, step on that one, remove this one, remove to fulfill my desires. Therefore, what we have to do, if you want to stop committing this pap, I want to know yourself. He tells the next verse now. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Tasmat tvam indriyanyadau niyamya bharatarshava.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Papmanam prajahyenam jnana vijnana nashanam.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna Kanaya Lal ki
Jai.
Tasmat tvam indriyani adau niyamya. O Bharatarshava, O Arjuna, first then what you do? See, he said, this thing is there in my intellect, is there in my mind, is there in my senses. What is desires, craving, longing, thirsting, pining for this thing, that thing, running after it with no end. It's there in all my faculties. The first thing then, control senses. Because this is the outermost expression. The eyes want to see this, the tongue want to eat that, and see, this leads to big trouble, isn't it? The tongue want to eat all sorts of big, nice, expensive things. If you give him vegetarian food, oh God, vegetarian food. His stomach has become a cemetery for burying dead animals. Because what? The tongue so dictated. The tongue so dictated because the stomach doesn't taste anything. Stomach could taste or what? The tongue only tastes. So, because of the tongue, 2 inches of tongue, the stomach has become a cemetery for the dead carcasses of animals. So, control the senses first. That is what Bhagavan is telling. The eyes, the tongue, the ears, we want to... Are bhai, play some bhajan na. Listen to a little bhajan na. No. Who want to listen to that bhajan, man? We put on some chutney. Chutney music. So the ears want to hear chutney. And nowadays, the younger generation and all, they have all kind of rubbish music. You know that, all rubbish music, trash, total rubbish going through the ears. So the eyes want to see rubbish, the ears want to hear rubbish, the tongue want to eat rubbish. That is how it is, all the senses. So Bhagavan says, the desires express, and the desires which is inside in the antakarana shoots themselves out through the senses and train the senses, the eyes to look there, train the ears to look, to hear there, train the tongue to go to Colonel Sanders and KFC rather than go in the satsang and eat a little 7 curry or something. All the senses are trained. That is the idea. Tasmat tvam indriyani adav niyamya. So the first and foremost, control the senses. 5 senses that we have. Like that. Papmanam prajahi hyenam. Prajahi is strong word, Bhagavan. Remove, you slaughter this desire, which is the cause for us to do pap. And enam, jnana vijnana nashanam. It destroys all our knowledge and wisdom and everything. Arey, look here. See. Now, this is all science and all now, right? Now science is telling most, like 85 to 90% of diseases are related to lifestyle. Do you know? Related to lifestyle. And lifestyle is guided by the 5 senses. That is all. Such a simple thing. So now, if I have the wrong lifestyle, because I am guided by my senses, lifestyle has only to do with senses. You please understand this thing. Lifestyle has nothing to do with anything else. It has to do with the senses. This modern word called as lifestyle is connected to senses only, because the eyes see some nice clothes there, and this is the modern clothes, I want to wear that thing. I want to wear a nice suit and tied and suited, booted and coated and all that, I looking real spick and span and swanky. So my lifestyle, and I follow a lifestyle of wearing nice, flashy clothes. Then I follow a lifestyle of eating nice, tasty, expensive junk food. And that's for the tongue. Again, the clothes for the eyes. Like that. So all the lifestyle things that we are talking about. At that time, there is no thinking of the intellect. My dear, this thing is good for me or not? First, let me think this. This is good for me or not? This food is good for me or not? This movie is good for me or not? This kind of music is good for me or not? That thinking is not there. It's just the senses just gone, taken over by all the things in the world. So therefore Bhagavan says, Prajahi. Prajahi means you slaughter this thing called desire. Pap manam it is. It causes me to do all pap. And it, jnana vijnana, all my wisdom and my knowledge and everything gets destroyed because of this desire. Desire for all worldly things. And again, he continues. Now this is number 42, penultimate verse of this chapter. The self which is deep inside, the Atma, is the most profound thing in the universe. That supersedes everything. But we don't go deep inside, we live superficially only, the senses and this world. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Indriyani paranyahu, Indriyebhya param manaha.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Manasastu parabuddhi, yo buddhe paratastu saha.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Krishna Kanaya Lal ki
Jai.
Indriyani paranyahu. Greater than the objects in this world, the sense objects, are the senses. Greater than the senses, Indriyebhya param manaha, is the mind. Greater than the mind, manasastu parabuddhihi. Greater than the mind is the intellect. And greater than the intellect is the Atma inside. So now all the different parts of the personality are given in this verse very nicely. So the personality starts with the senses. Those are the most gross and external part of the personality. Senses, 5 senses are there. Then they are greater than all the 5 sense objects outside. This is the idea. But greater than the senses is the mind inside. Mind is that part of the personality inside where I am always considering possibilities and jumping good or not good and feeling emotions and all that part of the personality is called as mind. The easiest way to understand actually is to say the part of the personality inside where you feel all emotions. That thing is called as mind. And deeper than that now, the deeper part of the personality is called as intellect, where we do all calculation and planning and judging and all such deciphering and logical rationalization and all such things inside, that is called as intellect. You see, mind is very simple. I feel to eat this, or I feel to, that's a feeling. But the intellect will tell now, say, I feel to eat laddu. So that is a feeling. But the intellect will tell now, no, my dear, you should not eat laddu. Because before you came here, you checked your sugar level, and your sugar level was 200, and it's supposed to be 100. So if you eat laddu, it will go to 300. So the intellect tells like that. Your sugar level will go up. And that is not good because it can lead to dire consequences. So the intellect tells. But the mind says, but I feel to eat it. The mind says, but I'm feeling to eat that thing, And in human beings, what usually wins is the feeling and not the intellectual conviction. Correct? In human beings, the feeling win all the time. He feel to eat this and feel to. Why you do it? And he's just feeling to do it. I was just feeling to do it. So that part where only feeling, that is called mind. And the part that is rationalizing and telling, no, this is good, this is not good, you should not do this, that is called intellect. And the part that goes searching now, where will I do this? Where are the laddus? Oh, his nose. Aha, I smell coming from that side. Those they call indriya, senses. Like that. And the laddu itself is called, here in this verse, indriyani. Paranyahu indriyebhya param manah. The sense objects outside. So, the sense objects, the senses, the mind and the intellect. And it says, great, beyond all of this. Buddhehe param tu, paramaha tu, saha, the Atma inside. The Atma is the deepest part of the personality. Is that Atma, just now we are saying, is the nature of Sat, Chit, Anand. And that Atma is to be discovered and to be merged with. I have to be one with myself. And if I am so preoccupied on the outside with the laddu and the nice flashy things and the glittery universe outside here, if at the extreme level I see the sense objects, then the senses, then the mind, then the intellect, then the Atma. If I am so preoccupied with the most external part of this universe, how I will ever reach inside? This is what we have to take away from the verse. It means I have still such a long way to go. I can't get rid of this little object or that little object. I buy a new shoes. I buy a new pair of shoes. And the old shoes there. But I well love that old shoes. I can't give it away. Sentimental attachment, we call it. Sentimental. Sentimental, have some part of it is mental. Sentimental attachment to that. And there might be some poor person down the road who could very well use the shoes, isn't it? But I have sentimental attachment. So I am at that level. The most external level, at the level of the object itself. Then I have to come to the level where I am able to leave that object and come to try to control my senses. And then inside, the feelings, emotions we call them. All the to control those feelings and emotions, and then to go deeper and to use the intellect to make rational judgment that is in line with Shastras. This is the most important thing. There are many people who are very sharp intellect, Tikshna buddhi, but it is very sharp in making worldly decisions only, and cannot make spiritual decisions or know nothing spiritual. That is why in Sanatana Dharma, the man who has a PhD, we do not consider to be an educated man. A man who has a PhD in Sanatana Dharma is no sign of education. This person can have a PhD, an MSc, an MBA, BBA, any kind of thing. But spiritually is the most ignorant person, knows nothing of all of this spiritual science and totally deluded and given to all the frailties of human existence. PhD does not say anything. Is not even one iota of any sign of evolution. Just as deluded as any other person, just as miserable as any other person, just as corrupt as any other person. So the modern, what we call as modern education, is actually no sign of any evolution. In order to drive this point home, Puja Gurudev used to say a very strong sentence. You could train a monkey also to get a PhD. If you train him well. So, the sense objects, the senses, the mind, the intellect, and deep inside is the Atma. It is that Atma which is our goal, not all the worldly objects of this world. This conclusion he gives now in the last verse. Evam buddhe param buddhva samsthabhyatmanamatmana.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Jahi Shatru Mahabaho Kamarupam Durasadam.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna Kanaya Lal ki
Jai.
Evam Buddhe Param Buddhva. Having known that the Atma is the most supreme thing, it is the foundation and substratum of this whole universe. It is way beyond the sense objects, the senses, the mind, the intellect, is beyond all things. Having known that, Evam Buddhe Param Buddhva Samsthiti Atmanam Atmana. Control yourself by yourself. See the frailty of human beings. We have to put laws and law enforcement in place to control us. Correct or not? So the person is driving on the road, you have to put the police officers on the road, and you have to put cameras, and you have to put traffic lights, and you have to put all sorts of things for this person to be controlled. In other words, I put things in place to control me. Means to say how weak I have become, I cannot control myself. I cannot put on the seat belt by myself without seeing the police officer. I cannot stop by the traffic light without seeing a police officer standing there, or whatever it is. Means I cannot control by myself. I have to see that person now, then only I can control. If he is not there, no control. So my control is internal or external? My control is external, because only when I see the external law enforcement, then I control. So Bhagavan is telling, no, my dear, you have to learn to control from within. See? Like for example, only when the doctor tell him, you go die, you have to stop drinking. You have to stop drinking, you go die. So the doctor have to tell him and convince him and tell him all kind of rationalization and all things why he should not drink. And outside also, he has to go to what? AA. What is it? AA. Alcoholic Anonymous. So and from there, or from outside, people have to try to convince him and convince him. Huh? And so he has no control from within. I see a nice story about a drunk man, Drunk people, nice story, The drunk man come home late in the night. Well, of course, when you go drinking, you don't even look at the time, right? He come home late in the night. And he ring the doorbell. And the wife didn't open the door. The wife did not open the door. So whole night he stay on the street. Next morning now, his friend came and saw him on the street. He said, what happened? You not friend, some passerby now. What happened? Your wife didn't hear the doorbell or what? He said, no man. It's not that, I come and I ring the doorbell, and she didn't open the doorbell, and I stay here on the street, and now this morning when I wake up and I'm sober. Now by morning you get sober, Now in the morning when I wake up and I'm sober now, then I realize, well, first of all, I'm not married at all. And second thing, I had the key in my pocket all the time too. So he's so drunk, he now realized he didn't marry himself. So that person, drunk people have no control about anything. That's why you have to go to AA now, and from outside there somebody has to control. You see what Bhagavan is talking about here? We have to have control from inside. And if it's the simplest thing I cannot control, what to talk about controlling the mind and the intellect and all of it. Because when a person sits for meditation like this, right, his mind goes everywhere, goes to this place and that place. So I cannot control the ordinary little things on the outside. To control that mind and all, that will be a big. But I cannot control what I eat. What to talk about control mind? That is a big task then. And Bhagavad Gita is demanding this. Bhagavan is telling, control, and then finally you will come all the way to the Atma inside. Jai Shatru Mahabaho Kama Rupa. And the root of all of this papa is this Kama. And this last line he says very forcefully also. You slay this enemy called as Kama. This is a very strong line. Very strong. Bhagavan, we can't be singing like how we sing in Chinmaya Mission, with a very, very soft voice. Jai Shatrum Mahabaho. Like that. When Bhagavan is telling, when you get angry, you talk like that? If you go to see a movie and you see Ravan, and Ravan talking nice. No, dear. Mandodari tells Ravan, my dear Ravan, you have to learn to talk with some manners. You have to learn to talk properly. And Ravan tells, okay, dear. Mangalam Bhagavan Vishnu. Mangalam Garad Bhaja. My dear, you are right. Ravan talk like that? And if you go to see Ramayana serial and Ravan talking like that. So in life we have this thing also. You have this soft talking and there is this forceful talking also. So Bhagavan also has that thing in Gita also. So you can say, okay, kill the enemy. Who will kill it? It has some international comedian from South Africa. He's living in the United States now. He makes fun of Trinidadians like that. Because Trinidadians talk like a sing-song kind of language. And he was making fun of us. He was saying, I don't know if a Trini has to go to war, what he'll do. Because he'll sing a song. Hey, why all you come on this side? All you should not come on this side. That land and that side is all your land. This is we land. And don't get me vexed, I will beat you. He making fun of we like that. Because we that talk like we singing. So, Bhagavan using some very strong language also. This last line, the last line of the third chapter is a very strong line. Right? And you can't just talk like that. Okay, my dear Arjuna, you know what you have to do? You have to kill the enemy. This is the enemy that causes you to do all papa. Not like that. Jai Shatrum Mahabaho Kam Rupam Durasadam. When that thing has become so strong inside of you, then only I will get the inspiration from within to remove this thing and get myself on the spiritual path. So that kind of line. This Sanskrit language actually is very expressive in whichever word the Lord chooses. Expressive language. Kill this enemy. Like that. Om Tat Saditi Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastra Krishna Arjuna Samvade. Yoga Shastra Krishna Arjuna Samvade Karma Yogo Nama Tritiyo. This is third chapter called as Karma Yoga. It's a dialogue between Bhagavan Shri Krishna and Arjuna, like that. Now, this next chapter, chapter 4, which comes after, is a really wonderful chapter. All the chapters are wonderful, and all are my favorite, and all are famous, and all are great. Now, I was telling last night, chapter 4, I'll tell you. Let me just introduce this chapter 4, because one very important point is there. it has, the important point is, it has all the rudiments of Sanatana Dharma, first of all. All the basic and fundamental teachings of Sanatana Dharma is there in this chapter. And when this topic comes up, I keep telling people everywhere, my dear, please stop saying and do not go on saying that all religions are same and all religions teach the same thing. That is not true. Nothing in Sanatana Dharma is like the other religions of this world. It is wrong information to, and I'm telling that because, not because anything is bad in any other religion, I'm just telling that everybody teach something different. That is all. I'm not saying anything bad. We teach something different. And I'll show you from every standpoint. So the ordinary level of society, which we are all, see, you and I, we are ordinary people, we live in civil society, right? So we are guided by what, at our ordinary level, everyday living, we are guided by what is called as morality. This is the basic level for ordinary living, morality, right? So morality means, my dear, the society has laid down what is right and what is wrong, right? And so the civil laws of the society will lay down, this thing is wrong, you should not do it, this thing is right, you should do it. Well, all religions also lay down morality. Religions also lay down morality. In this religion, this thing is right, and this religion, this thing is not right. Like, for example, in Sanatana Dharma, killing cows and eating cows is not right. This is Sanatana Dharma. And in other religion, kill like anything, kill anything and eat. So now, if this morality about what to kill and what is proper and what is improper and all that at the moral level, right? Then how are you telling me that the two religions are same when the morality of this religion is different and the morality of that religion is different? The morality is not the same. What is right and wrong, what is good and bad, they are different in different religions. Arey bhaiya, in Sanatana Dharma, it is not proper for us to go and convert anybody. If you're going to convert that man, you're actually telling that man behind the lines, hey man, you're stupid, you don't know. You're stupid, you don't know, you are deluded, you're a fool, you don't know, therefore I have to convert you. That is what is behind the line. We do not do that in Sanatana Dharma. So now, how now you are telling me that the morality is... I'm talking about the ordinary moral level. I haven't gone to philosophy yet. At the level of morality and ethics, the morality and ethics of Sanatana Dharma is unlike anything on this earth. Okay, so you leave, I'm telling, and I can go on and on just the whole lecture on morality alone. Now leave morality, I go to one higher level. That thing is called as the metaphysics or the philosophical, what is called in deep philosophy as ontological level. That means to say the nature of this universe with regard to God. So in Sanatana Dharma, this whole universe is God. Why Tulsidas will say Ram mai sab jaga jani karo pranam jodi juk pani? Why the Upanishad is telling Isha Vasyam idam Sarvam? Why does Bhagavad Gita is telling Vasudeva Sarvamiti? This universe is nothing but a manifestation of Paramatma. It's a manifestation of Paramatma. So Paramatma is not removed from the universe. Paramatma is immanent in the universe. These are technical words. This is ontology. The universe is made up of Sat and Paramatma is Sat. Existence. Now, where other religion teaches this? Other religion, God is sitting somewhere in the sky. God is sitting in the sky and He's taking notes. He's a data entry clerk. Whatever you do, He's taking notes. And one day you will meet Him. This is what they teach. And He'll take out, He'll pull your file. And go, and in Trinidad language, you go bust the mark. He'll pull your file one day. Sanatana Dharma does not teach you God is somewhere remote and sitting somewhere and that kind of thing, right? God is here, there, and everywhere. How nicely all the Shastras tell. सिया राम मैं सब जग जानी करऊ प्रणाम जोरी जोग पानी
श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
सिया राम मैं सब जग जानी
श्री राम जय राम
करऊ प्रणाम जोरी जुग पानी
श्री राम जय राम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय राम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
श्री राम जय राम जय राम
श्यावर रामचंद्र की
जय
These type of verses in Shastras tell that this whole world, this is Ram only. The universe is nothing but manifestation of Ram. So he's not remote and he's not somewhere in the sky or something. He is Karname, Nasame, in every iota of the whole universe. So now, from this philosophical, metaphysical, we call ontological standpoint, Sanatana Dharma is like nothing on this earth. Now if you see the other very important part, like for example, Sanatana Dharma teaches that we have countless births, which other religion teaches. Now those are the things that will come up in this 4th chapter. Now, before I continue, one clarification let me make. Or maybe a couple points with regard to us saying that all religions are same. It seems to me that there is a fear in people's mind for a variety, But variety is the spice of life. I was telling last night, it is actually good if... Let me just ask you a simple question. If you go to buy shoes by Payless or whoever, where does buy shoes? I don't know. Wherever you buy shoes, right? You go to buy shoes in the shoe store. And when you go there, there is only one type of shoe. No variety. Only one type of shoe. You either buy the shoe or get lost. You will go back to that shoe store? Who will go back? Nobody will go back. When you go there, you want to see 25 varieties of shoes, isn't it? Clothes, shoes, anything. Food. Every day you have to eat only rice. Boiled rice. Plain rice. With nothing. What are you having for breakfast? Rice. What kind of rice? Boiled rice. What are you having for lunch? Rice. What do you have for dinner? Rice. You ever see any civilization on this earth living like that? Things have to be real bad only to be. Of course, if to survive, if that is the case, you will do it, right? But if there are other things available, people like a variety of food. That is why in this wonderful country, you have a nice purine leaf with 7 curry. You ever had Guyana evolve? What do you have? Single curry. Well, what is the best dish in the Guyana? Single curry. Bhagwan, I told last night also, Bhagwan has manifested this universe also with no repetition. No repetition. Absolutely no repetition. So Bhagwan has manifested a nice variety, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with variety. And so we have variety in races, we have variety in culture, we have variety in food, variety in nation, variety in tradition, variety in religion, and variety is wonderful. And there's no need for us to go on saying that all religions are same, and I can go on telling now that they are not same from any standpoint. The whole belief system, that is what we call the epistemology, of how we learn in that religion and all that, it is different. What is called the ontology, the metaphysical structure of the universe and God and all that altogether is different, and the morality is different. And I'm not saying anyone is wrong or right, I'm saying different. And what is your problem with variety? You did not make the variety. We found it. We found it. Learn to accept the variety and move on and stop saying that. Actually is a colonial mentality for us to be saying that all religions are same. It's a colonial ploy. You wouldn't believe how deep that thing runs. Alright. So, and right now we are trying across this earth to decolonize the mind. That's a big task. Decolonizing the mind is a big task. First of all, I have to first recognize that I have been colonized mentally. If that I cannot recognize, what to talk about decolonization now? So all of these little things chip away, and Sanatana Dharma is so good to chip away at all of this. These things have been handed to us by foreign thinkers and all that. Now we'll start to study this 4th chapter, and you will see all the basic and fundamentals of Sanatana Dharma, which is not to be found in religions across this earth. Basic and fundamental. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. Bhagavan is telling to Arjuna. Now see, first verse of number 4. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Imam Vivasvate Yogam Proktavanamavyayam.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Vivasvan manave praha manurikshvakave pravi.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo viduhu.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Sakale neha mahata yogo nashta parantapa.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Jai Lal ki
Jai.
Evam vivasvate yogam proktavan aham. Aham proktavan, this knowledge was given by me, taught by me to Vivaswan. Oh my dear Arjuna, Arjuna's name in the next verse is called Parantapa. Parantapa, so many names of Arjuna in this Bhagavad Gita. Oh Parantapa, this knowledge was given by me to Vivaswan in the beginning and in Sanatana Dharma. See, I clarified this on previous days. Beginning means from the unmanifest, the whole universe is there in unmanifest state, and Brahmaji starts manifesting. From unmanifest, he starts bringing into manifest. Brahmaji is not creator. And this is another thing. We don't have creator in Sanatana Dharma. So how good, how wonderful. Brahmaji is not the creator. Brahmaji just brings things from one state into another state. I'll just give you in simple language. If the waters of the ocean goes from the liquid state in the ocean to a gaseous state as vapor, right? So if it goes from this state to this state, did you create vapor? We didn't, because vapor is H2O and the liquid also is H2O. Both are H2O or not? For those who study little science, you will know the liquid in the ocean is H2O and the vapor is also H2O. So you did not create, you just took something from one state and you made it into another state, from a state of liquid to a state of gas. That is not called creation. That is just changing one state to another state. So Brahmaji's job is that. He brings things from an unmanifest state to a manifest state. So Bhagavan tells, in the beginning, after the pralaya is over, all things dissolve and go into unmanifest, and then Brahmaji again at the end of that cycle starts manifesting things again, bringing them from that unmanifest to manifest. That is called beginning in Sanatana Dharma. Not in the Western religion, it's different. Western religion, there is nothing. Zero, zilch. Not manifest, no unmanifest, nothing. And God starts creating one by one and all. And that Sanatana Dharma rishis rejected that long millennia before. Because there are so many illogical, irrational things in that you can't answer. So rejected that long ago. How? If God created you, and God created you and me, and God created everybody like that, right? There is no rational, logical, rational, sensible thing in this world why God will create a child and put him in the city dump, and he'll create another child and put him in the Buckingham Palace. On what basis he'll do? Is something wrong with that God then? Because if he created everyone, he'll have to answer why he put one child. Because I've seen in the dump, I've seen children living in the dump. And at the same time, another child is born in Buckingham Palace. And if both were created by the same God, then like that there are 100 questions we can raise, and none will have a logical, rational answer. You'll come up with all sorts of illogical, irrational beliefs, and that is not a rational answer. So anyway, when Brahmaji started manifesting the universe in the beginning, that time Bhagavan Shri Krishna says, I gave this knowledge to Vivaswan that time, in the beginning. Then Vivaswan Manave Praha. Vivaswan passed the knowledge down to Manu. Manu Ikshvaku Abhravit. Manu gave the knowledge to Ikshvaku. And he says, Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo viduhu. And like that the knowledge was passed down from one to the next. The knowledge was passed down from one king. So Vivaswan was a king, Manu was a king, then Ikshvaku was a king, and the knowledge was passed down from one king to the next, like this, down, down, down. But he says, Sakale neha mahata yogo nashta parantapa. Oh Parantapa, in the great expanse of time, this knowledge got lost. And that is like every other thing which you experience in your life. Now you think. In the beginning of this Bhagavad Gita, when we started, I started by telling that the world is made up of a duality, right? And we cannot come out from that duality, no matter what you do. So in duality, there is life, and the other side of that is called as death. Where there is life, there will be. Can you have one? Try now. You can't. In the very same way, where there is knowledge, there will be ignorance. Where there is joy, there will be sorrow. Where there is gain, there will be loss. Where there is victory, there will be defeat. Where there is hot, there will be cold. Where there is dry, there will be wet. Like that. This is the duality in which we are all living. On the first day, when I introduced Gita, Gita is cast in this duality. So here now, if something goes up, it will come down. You better believe it. And when we say believe it, we mean, I'm talking in ordinary parlance. We believe it means there is no need for to believe it, you just have to watch. Seeing is believing. So you just have to watch, you will see that whatever goes up will someday come down. So now, if there was a time when this knowledge was taught by Bhagavan Shri Krishna to Vivaswan, when this knowledge was taught and the society was at its height of wisdom, its height of what we call as all the modern intellectualism and morality and all such things, if at one time the whole society was like that, when Bhagavan taught and everybody taught nicely and all that, but the law is the law. What goes up will go down. And Bhagavan says this in a really wonderful line here. Sakalene hamhata yogo nashtapa. Kalena iha mahata, the great expanse of time. And the great expanse of time, all things will turn upside down. What a fundamental principle which is taught in this Sanatana Dharma, and that is, given the nature and structure of the universe which we found, none of us created it like that. None of us made it like that. We found a universe. If today you are young, one day you will be old. If today you are healthy, one day you will be unhealthy. This is the universe we are living in. And if one day society is experiencing a renaissance and intellectual ascendance, that same society one day will experience degradation and decadence and death. And that is the law of the universe. And you jump high or jump low or do whatever you want, you did not make the law. We are helpless victims of the law. We cannot do anything. Even where Bhagavan gives the knowledge, even where the Lord establishes the parampara and gives that knowledge, He is the teacher. That also, this is what He Himself is telling now. Sakale nehamhata yogo nashta parantapa. I gave this knowledge and it came down like this, then, and after some time, you don't have to see Gita. You can just watch. You can just watch in your own society, in your own community and all that, and you will know. Look here. How many things your forefathers knew how to do and you don't know how to do? Well, I can count so many things in my own life that my grandfather knew so well how to do that. I saw my grandfather join two big 8-inch beams, wooden beams, this size. 8 by 8, long beam. From here to way over there, join those two beams with no nail, with no glue, with nothing. And the beam standing. That beam taking the weight of the house. Join the beam. Now, do we know the art? We don't know the art. And even if you know, you just give one more generation. The generation after you, he'll ask, what is beam? Isn't it? So all knowledge in the vast expanse of time, they get lost. Doesn't matter which type of knowledge. So Bhagavan is telling, my dear, I gave this knowledge to Vivaswan, Vivaswan to Manu, Manu to Ikshvaku, Ikshvaku like that. And it came down, 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 and then after a long time. And this goes for everything. Like for example, you will see, the wealth was in one country at one time, the country became poor, 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 and the wealth went to another country. And then at some time, that country also became poor, and then the wealth went. So he was one time wealthy, another time poor. So this is how this is the law of the universe. You can't do anything about that. This is the way it runs. So you don't have to hurt your head also. Just remember the rule, the basic rule. What goes up will come. No. And actually it works the other way in our favor also. So if you have some sorrow, if you have some sorrow in your life, you also sakale ne hamata yoga noshta parantapa, the same law will apply. What is that? Whatever sorrow is there today also will give way and happiness will come. And if you have some happiness, the happiness will give way and sorrow will come. So anybody who is having any sorrow, this is a positive point now. Gurudev used to say this in a very simple way. What? This too shall pass. And you know, when you just lose a loved one, the sorrow is intense. And after some time, you lose the loved one, there is sorrow. After some time, life gone back to normal. Have you seen? Life gone back to normal. The sorrow gone. Normalized. So, evam parampara praptam imam rajashayo viduhu sakale ne mata yogo nashta parantapa. And Bhagavan tells, now that knowledge has been destroyed, lost, vanished in the great expanse of time. And today I am giving you this Gita knowledge once more. My dear Arjuna, this is number 3. Saivayam mayatedya yoga propta puratanaha.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Bhakto si me sakha cheti rahasyam hetaduttamam.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna Kanaya Lal ki jai. Saivayam mayatedya adyate. Today to you, Maya, by me, again is being given this knowledge. To you, by me. Bhagavan is telling. So it got lost. And this is another thing which we encounter on a very ordinary level also. Man builds, and nature destroys. And then man comes again and build. That is how the world works. Everything works like that. Build, destroy. Like for example, they built in Gaza all these skyscrapers and buildings, and who destroyed? Man built and who destroyed? Man only, correct? Because man is part of nature also. Destroy whole big cities in World War II were just flattened like parking lot. So the vast history of human civilization is what we do. Build, and then destroy, and again come and build. So that law applies all around in nature also. Things come and get destroyed, and again come and again destroy, and again come. So same thing with the knowledge now. Bhagavan said the knowledge got lost, but look here, today I am re-establishing this knowledge. I am giving it to you, Arjuna. And why I am giving to Arjuna? Why I am giving it to him? Bhagavan tells also, Bhaktosi me sakha cheti. You are my bhakta and my friend. It's actually a very nice indication of who will get this knowledge. If anybody is a bhakta of Bhagavan or friend of Bhagavan, he will get this knowledge. And if he is not a bhakta, not a friend, this knowledge will go through from here and go out from there. But the one who is a bhakta and a friend of the Lord, that knowledge will go inside and go deep. This is a qualification actually. I have to be a devotee of the Lord. That is why we hear so many different types of Shastra, Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, everything we hear. And nothing stays inside because we really are not a correct devotee of Bhagavan. But he who is a good devotee of Bhagavan, that thing will go and stay inside. That is the qualification. That's why Bhagavan is giving to Arjuna. Now Arjuna has one question, a very important question. I'll tell this question, but this will be answered tomorrow. Tomorrow, Alexander Vishnu Mandir, East Bank, Demerara. Arjuna, very important question. Prabhu, hold on. You said something which is confusing my mind, you know. Bhagavan said, really? What is that? What confused you? It is so obvious. You said you gave this knowledge to Vivaswan in the beginning of the cycle. But wait a minute. You only 4 years older than me. You were born just recently, 4 years before me. And we were here just now. And you told you gave this knowledge to Vivaswan in beginning of the cycle. How you will give if you were just born recently? That is Arjuna's question. Now see, that thing warrants all this whole idea of rebirth, reincarnation and countless lifetimes and all of that or not? And where is this there in other religions? And avatar and so many things to come in this chapter. Bhagavan will reply tomorrow in Alexander village. Okay. Today, Mortis Mandir. I was telling last night that in Sanatana Dharma, we don't say Hindu Mandir. But he says here Mortis Hindu Mandir. We say Mortis Hindu Temple or Mortis Mandir. Because if it is Mandir, it has to be Hindu. What it will be? Correct or not? If it is Mandir, it cannot be Christian Mandir, Muslim Mandir, Buddhist Mandir. If it is Mandir, it has to be only Hindu. So there is a repetition. But anyway, in Trinidad also we have gone through. You know, we are now trying to correct certain things now, everywhere, because whoever was doing it did not think about it and all. So there also we are trying to straighten up a few little things. It's like saying, give me some, I want some coffee. You want coffee or you want coffee? Means you're saying the same thing twice. That is like that only. Anyway, so good to be here, Pandit Tony and Renuka, all who have put the whole satsang together. So nice to be in this way outlying village. I thought we would never reach. And when we reached halfway, I was thinking, I wonder if I brought my passport. Because I feel like some other country we going. All right, good to be here. And this is Mortis, and it falls in Maikoni. Maikoni. All right. Today is number 23 night, tomorrow is number 24. The nights are just going like that so fast. Almost quarter century gone already. Okay. So Alexander Village tomorrow. I miss you. Now, from Trinidad, some of the Ammas have come and they are going from temple to temple with us also. And more will be coming during this 108 nights. I don't think they want to hear Gita, they come to see Guyana. They come to see this nice country. So they're not so concerned about Gita and all that kind of thing. And they want to taste all the nice 7 curry and yeah, like that. So I think that is why they come. And they say in Trinidad, it does only have curry aloo, so they come here to try aloo curry. But today, one of them, they're sitting here. Today is Sharda Amma's birthday. So here is a birthday song, not very long, in Sanskrit. Sanskrit birthday song. Huh? You all should learn. It's a very nice song. It says, Janma dinamidam ai priya sakhe. Oh my dear, on this birthday of yours, Shantano tute sarvadamudam. May you rejoice and be happy on this birthday of yours. Then, Ishvara sada tvamcha rakshatu. May Ishvara protect you. And may you be in the company and protection of Ishvara all the time. And punya karmana kirti marjaya. May you be known to the whole world by all your good karmas. Means all the good things that you have done, let the whole world know you for that, rather than know you for all bad things. And Ishvara sada tvamcha rakshatu. Punya karmana kirti marjaya. Jivanam tava bhavatu sarthakam. And may your life be fulfilled. Of course, in the company and protection of Ishvara. See. Now see here. Janmadinamidam ai priya sakhe.
Janmadinamidam ai priya sakhe.
Shantano tute sarvada mudam.
Shantano tute sarvada mudam.
Prathayamahe bhavashatayushi.
Prathayamahe bhavashatayushi.
Ishvara sada tvamcha rakshatu.
Ishvara sada tvamcha rakshatu.
Punya karmana kirti marjaya.
Punya karmana kirti marjaya.
Jivanam tava bhavatu sarthakam.
Jivanam tava bhavatu sarthakam. Janmadinamidam ai priya sakhe.
Shantano tute
Sarvadamudam.
Shantano
tute Sarvadamudam. Sarvadamudam. Sarvadamudam.
Okay. This is her first time in Guyana, so this is naturally the first time she's celebrating her birthday in Guyana. Happy birthday to Sharda. Okay. Please have a look at the bookstall on the outside there. Many nice titles are there. There's a very wonderful book for those who want to get introduced to Sanatan Dharma and the teaching of the Upanishad, Self-Unfoldment, and Religion and Human Values, and many titles for children, Ganesh and Krishna and so on. And Bhagavad Gita in modern style, the art of man-making. You want to become sound human beings, read the art of man-making from Bhagavad Gita. Okay. Some things happening at the ashram. On Sunday coming, there is Ramayana Satsang at the ashram in the evening time from 5 to 6:30. On Saturday coming, there is Vanaprastha workshop. Vanaprastha means the 3rd stage of life. All of us are supposed to go through 4 stages of life. Usually we talk about it, but we don't go through those stages. But it is very important to have a very harmonious and smooth life. On the 8th of March, we're having a fundraiser at the ashram. We're selling something called pizzoti. Pizzoti is a blend between pizza and pepper roti. In Trinidad, there's a big roti like this called pepper roti, stuffed with hot peppers and a whole lot of things inside there. Inside. We call it pepper roti. If you eat one piece, your kundalini will raise. You have to come and try that thing. Huh? So we blended that, we made a hybrid between that pepper roti and pizza. Alright. So on the 8th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., we're having a fundraiser at the ashram. You have to come and try it out. Okay. Those people who want to study this type of knowledge, this course is going to start in Trinidad on the 2nd of October. It's a 2-year course. You have to come and stay in the ashram and study for 2 years every single day from 5:30 a.m. till 8 p.m. Every single day, no holidays. The qualification is you have to be 30 and under, you have to be unmarried, and then you have to make sure that 30 and under, unmarried, and make sure that you have a university degree, any degree. Then only you will be accepted. And ashram will provide everything for those people who are interested in studying this knowledge in depth. Huh? All right. Let us all stand for Aarti and we'll conclude. Om Jai Bhagavad Gita, Maya Jai Bhagavad Gita, Hariya Kamala Viharini, Hariya Kamala Viharini, Sundar Supunite. Om Jai Bhagavad Gita. Sumarma prakashi Kama Sakti Haramaya Kama Sakti Haramaya Tattva Jnana Vikashini Tattva Jnana Vikashini Vidya Brahma Para Om Jai Bhagavad Gita Nishchala Bhakti Vidaya Nirmala Malahari Maya Rahasya Pradayini Sab Vidhi Sukhakari Om Jai Bhagavad Gita Raga Dvesha Vidari Harini Mota Sadamaya Harini Mota Sadamaya Bhavabhaya Harini Tarini Bhavabhaya Harini Tarini Paramananda Praya Om Jai Bhagavad Gita Asura Bhava Vinashi Nashini Namarajani Maya Nashini Namarajani Devi Sadguna Jayini Devi Sadguna Jayini Hari Rasika Sajani Om Jai Bhagavad Gita Samata Tyaga Sikhavan Hari Mukha Ki Bani Maya Hari Mukha Ki Bani Sakal Shastra Ki Swamini Sakal Shastra Ki Swamini Shrutiyo Ki Rani Om Jai Bhagavad Gita Daya Sudha Barsavan Matu Krita Ki Jai Maya
जय भगवत गीते।
मंगलम भगवान विष्णु मंगलम गरुड़ध्वज मंगलम पुंडरीकाक्षं मंगलायतनो हरिः। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। बोले वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय। नमः पार्वती पते हर हर महादेव। हरि ओम तत्सत। प्लीज ऑल सीट।
Jai Shri Ram. Very good.